me what you gonna do about that. Tell me what you gonna do. I got to know about that. Did you love the real?
Far away.
I know.
Hello. Hello. I think we have a video that we want to play before we get this conversation started.
How you doing?
And no, this is not Masterpiece
How's it going,
Theater.
Eddie? Robert. Yeah. Hey. Hey, Robert. How are you? Yeah. We went to dinner in Dublin.
Oh, I hear the music, but I don't see the video.
Everybody shops, and everybody likes to save money, but sometimes it isn't easy. Who wants to buy everything in bulk? Who wants another loyalty card? And do you really want more coupons to manage? Well, now your bank has a simple new way to save you money on the things you want to buy. It's called CardLinked Marketing, and here's how it works. Your bank manages millions of transactions every day, privately and securely, using smart software to analyze purchases. They can offer you savings at the stores and restaurants where you want to shop and eat. So when you check your bank account online,
The audio and the visual are really much tighter than it would appear right now in that video. As I'm sure most of you can tell, as a marketer, I could probably quote every single line, but I won't do that for you. Oh, now that we're at the end. That's fun, too.
But the conversation we wanted to have tonight was CardLinked Marketing, but really it's consumer purchase marketing.
Consumer purchase data, right? So the video talks a good deal about how CardLinked Marketing as an industry works, and how using consumer purchase history you can target better. Really reach the customer at the right time with the right offer, and then afterward, as a marketer, be able to really measure whether the purchase was made or not. So it's kind of a really lovely way to connect, to target really well, and then connect digital advertising to in-store sales.
But there are other sources of data that you can glean onto, like loyalty programs, like most retailers out here have.
That's right. So as marketers, I think all of us are looking for that perfect proxy for how to determine when the consumer is going to purchase, right? That perfect signal of consumer purchase intent. We use demographics. I saw an interesting article this morning about treating millennials as not different, not all the same, rather. We use psychographics. We use search. Back in the day, I was with GoTo.com, which became Overture, which was purchased by Yahoo, and we were the first search marketing firm. And at the time, the idea that that a good signal of purchase intent was what you would search on was really novel and really interesting. And it turned out to really work most of the time. It works pretty well. It doesn't work perfectly, right? If I do a search with my kids on who is the king of Spain in 1550, I get a lot of ads from Spanish Airlines, right, and hotels. But it works. Like if you do a search on a big screen television or running shoes or other things like that, it's actually a really good signal of purchase intent. Clicks are generally considered a great signal of purchase intent, although I've seen a lot of interesting data recently that clicks are not particularly they're an indication of interest in the ad and not necessarily an indication of purchase intent. Loyalty programs are great. Loyalty programs have the challenge of, for a retailer, you guys all know this, right? But as a retailer, you know exactly what goes on in your store, and that's the basis of a loyalty program. The challenge is you don't know what goes on outside the store. And so our experience at Cardlytics in looking at loyalty is that if you only know what happens in your store, you can mistake different kinds of loyalty. And the story I always use is about coffee. My husband is very loyal to Pete's. Goes to Pete's once a week. Only will go to Pete's. Only goes to Pete's. I go to coffee shops probably every day of the week. I probably land in Pete's once a day. I actually stopped at the Pete's on the way here. So to Pete's, I look precisely as loyal as my husband, and yet I'm not, right? And it's not to say that I'm less of a customer. I'm actually exactly the same amount of a customer. But if you knew my whole wallet, your interpretation of me as a loyalty customer would be very different. And that's the challenge with loyalty programs.
So what are other challenges with retailers using this consumer purchase data?
So the challenge in consumer purchase data is it's brand new, right? It's a completely new form of information. Until most purchases in the United States 10 years ago were done by cash and check. I mean, not most dollars, but most purchases in terms of numbers of transactions. And the rise of the debit card has totally changed that. Now there is a record of people's everyday transactions. So you go out and use your debit card for most people, most consumers, use their debit card for everyday purchases. And now we have that information in a way that didn't exist before. So like every time you try to do something brand new in terms of data or channel, it's just really hard to sort out how this fits. How do you use it? How do you measure it? How does it fit in with the rest of your marketing mix? Where is it appropriate? How does it hit against your marketing goals? And we saw the same thing in paid search 10 years ago. Just like, wow, this is interesting. I don't have a line item for that, right? It's a hard thing to do. So
how can a retailer get the right message in front of the right customer at the right time using this consumer purchase data?
I think the key to this is actually, back to what I was saying about looking for that perfect signal of purchase intent. Because we would say that statistics would say that the past is the best predictor of the future. And that's the value of purchase data, is you look back at what somebody's purchased in the past, you have a pretty good chance of, if you're thoughtful about it, providing them the right offer at the right time. And for example, I always say that I'm a runner, and the fastest way for me to get an ad served to me online for running shoes is to buy running shoes. Right? So if I go to newbalance.com and buy something, I can promise you the very next thing I see is going to be an ad for running shoes, which is precisely the wrong time for me to get that ad. The time for me to get that would be in 5.5 months when my shoes are starting to wear out, right? So, at Cardlytics, we work with a lot of retailers and large retailers and restaurants, and most of them don't really like to talk about, they ask it to keep confidential. We do have a couple of clients who've done video testimonials with us. One of them is Quiznos. So Tim Kraus, who's the director of innovation and digital advertising there, is very articulate and talks about how they've used Cardlytics. And he kind of talks about thinking about the message and the customer. So he would say that for customers who are truly loyal, customers who go to quick service restaurants or fast casual restaurants regularly, and often or mostly go to Quiznos, the message is about thank you for your loyalty. And they use the customer's past purchase behavior to identify that customer and communicate an offer and a thank you for your loyalty message, right? And then for customers, that'd be like my husband and Pete's, right? And then for customers who are more like me, go to maybe fast casual restaurants a lot, and I only go to Quiznos occasionally, their messaging is to remind the customer of the value of Quiznos. And it's different, right? It's a different message to get me to go into a coffee shop one more time versus my husband who's only going to go to Pete's, right? And then their third category is they think about brand new customers. Folks, typically what they do is they say folks who haven't been in Quiznos in the last 6 months. And that's all about, you're treating them as brand new. And you think about the value proposition for the brand from the very beginning, that it's fresh, it's regular, we've been here a long time, we have new products and services. So you can really message very differently based on the customer.
Great. Are there questions out here? We got like 2 minutes left. Any questions on using purchase data, consumer purchase data?
We've got one right here. Just wait 5 seconds. There it is.
Do you get individualized purchase data, or is it more of an aggregate? And how do you target individuals better with your data at Cardlytics?
Well, the way we do it is, and there are a lot of different implementations of card linking, which is kind of what the industry's called. The way we do it is we partner with banks, large financial institutions, and as part of that relationship, we have, actually the company has about 5 patents, and they're all around our systems to partner with banks in a way that allows us to use the data to target and to place offers without compromising consumer privacy. So what I say is, with marketing, with CardLinked Marketing, you have a choice of understanding the consumer purchase behavior and targeting on that. You don't have a choice of PII. You can't tie it to an individual customer. So the way we do it is we get data from large financial institutions, Bank of America, FIS, Lloyd's, or some of our partners. And based on that, we create a program. Back to my point, let's say we wanted to target my husband to get one more trip from Pete's. We comb the data for that behavior, and then we take the offer, tie it to the anonymous ID with the behavior, and push it back to the bank. And then the offer, the marketing message, shows up in the consumer's online or mobile banking application. So it actually, if you're a Bank of America customer, it would be called Bank AmeriDeals. We're the white label provider. Lots of other companies are doing things like this. You know, privacy is a pretty important piece of this, and how you control the channel is a pretty important piece of it.
Great.
Thank you.
I think we're out of time.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Paul. Thank